It's coming. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Always Open. On this week's episode, we're going to be playing a round of Cupidity, doing cheers to that once again, and talking about what we wish was more socially acceptable. And we're also testing out our new hotline that people called in and asked questions to. I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and with me today, I got some friends.
My name is Max.
Hi, Max.
I'm Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
And it's me, Blaine!
Whoa! Oh my God!
I would have got away with it too. It wasn't for you kids.
No. Fooled all of you.
Greatest disguise in all of history.
Yeah. I even drank the tequila for getting into character.
Your
Yeah.
Mexican self.
Yes, from Mariel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess we should explain why Mariel's here, right?
Yeah, Mariel was supposed to be on the show today. Blaine luckily filled in for us last minute. He's a superhero. But Mariel's brother's wife, her water broke this morning. So congrats, Mariel's family.
For Act 2 of my magic trick, I have to actually go over and pretend to be the baby. Face mask. So I gotta get going. So.
You were just there with a water bottle and like just dropped it. Your
Maybe.
water broke.
It's Blaine.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be Blaine coming out going, hello.
This is the weirdest, long form prank that we've done recently, you know?
Recently.
Yeah. You know, like the Star Wars ones and all those,
We
you
didn't
know?
talk about that.
I mean, this one we've been working on for what, 9 months?
Yeah.
It's a long.
Hot. I like how now we just have that wig just lying on the floor there.
It will act as my merkin now.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out.
Who's a good boy? It's my cat.
That's gross. Well, welcome everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Of course, thanks for being on today. Ashley, you haven't been back in a while. Max, you either.
It's good to be back.
It's been a hot second.
I'm excited.
Where's your red lipstick?
It's been a really hot second.
I was gonna wear red lipstick, but I ate all of it.
Oh,
Common problem.
Yeah.
yeah. It is delicious.
It's just gotta, once you start, you can't.
Dude, wearing red lipstick's terrifying.
It gets on everything.
Oh, I'm like this the whole time. I'm gonna be paranoid. Like,
You can do the
I
trick
can't
where
let
you stick your
my
thumb in.
like lips touch.
Yeah.
Never
Anything.
understood in movies how lipstick gets on the collar or the tie, though. I don't get that. Who's kissing there?
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't it be the neck?
if you kiss the neck, I understand. Like if you kiss the neck and then the collar touches the neck, the tie is a little weird.
I managed to get lipstick like halfway across my face today, so it can get anywhere, and it will.
I once got peanut butter on the back of my head.
Whoa!
Are you sure you're the one who did it?
I spent the entire day alone, so yeah. The weirdest part, I didn't have peanut butter that day.
What the fuck?
It's like, I'm fucking gross.
Oh my god.
My guess is like maybe there was some like on a cabinet from when I like closed the door, like a thumb.
And I'd like to imagine too that you also knew it was peanut butter because you probably tasted it afterward and you're like,
It's like,
"Yeah."
Well, I felt something on my hair and I went like this and I was like, peanut butter.
Oh god.
But how is how is peanut butter getting on cabinets or all over? Do you just get weird with it?
Fucking mess, man. You know that like a bachelorette frog meme? You know that one where it's just like being a gross woman as a bachelorette?
You know what? It doesn't
That's
go
me.
away once you're not bacheloretting. My half of the bedroom is just piles of clothes.
Clothes, yeah.
And I've got a folding table that's like my table on which all my clothes are currently living.
Mm-hmm.
They're in folded stacks, but I'm not putting them away
It's just
They're just
because
folds.
I'm gonna do a future cull of the closet.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything in the closet will be fair game to go because clearly I haven't worn it in, well, at this point it's been like 9 months. So.
I try to do this thing where I hang up my clothes a certain way, and if I don't wear them within like a year, because then the hanger's still facing the opposite way, I get rid of them.
that's real smart.
Yeah.
I would literally pay for a service to just come pick up my piles of clothing.
Instead of
just-
having to take it over.
Yeah,
to-
just because I am lazy as all hell.
Me too.
I can wash stuff. It's the folding step that gets me.
Folding
I don't
hanging.
like folding.
Yeah, me neither.
Moving it from the washer to the dryer? Who has the time? I mean, I do. I just don't feel like it.
Also, who has time to wipe up all the peanut butter that they get all over their apartment? Not me. So we're going to start off with a segment that we tried on, I believe, last week's episode by the time this comes out. It's called Cheers to That. where we talk about positive things that have happened in our lives or other people's lives, and we just clink our glasses to cheers to that. It's very easy.
Nice.
And if you want to participate, you could hashtag on Twitter cheers to that, or email alwaysopen@rooster.com with the subject title cheers to that. So we have 3 today, 2 from Twitter and 1 from our email. The first one is from Twitter. I'm a trans woman who recently came out to all my friends with a very positive reception. I'm also starting a hormone replacement therapy prescription tomorrow, and I haven't felt happier in years. Life is good. Cheers to that.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. I hope everything goes well with the hormones and all that. It could be very exciting.
Yeah. Starting a new chapter.
Exactly. And then our next one is, I passed my medical terminology exam this week for veterinary assistant.
Nice.
I studied so hard and couldn't be more excited. Blushy face.
And that's just awesome.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Those,
Cheers.
Those exams can be so stressful too.
Oh, I know. I mean, I don't know, but I could imagine.
Just exams in general, imagine. Especially if it's like something that you want to do with your life and you want to make sure that you make it a success. So
I still wake up
on ya.
dreaming or nightmaring from exams and prep and stuff like that.
Do you
so-
still have that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll never go away, apparently.
Oh, I never have that.
I don't get that.
Mine's always like, my only like stress dreams are like being in a car and not like being able to control it.
Oh.
Kind of terrifying.
Terrifying.
Sometimes it's nice to have nightmares because you can wake up and be like, life isn't shit.
Yeah, how great to have those nightmares.
It is. I understand that relief though, where you have a nightmare and it's terrible and it seems very real, and then you wake up and it almost takes like a minute or 2 to realize like, oh my God, that's not real.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Like I've had some very realistic nightmares. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, my life sucks now. I hate this.
The only dreams I remember seem to be like epic quests, which I'm kind of all about.
That's pretty amazing.
Wish I could
Yeah, I had one
remember
castle. It was made entirely out of Lego.
You just need to watch.
What?
And I
like,
defended
fantasy
it.
Stuff.
those.
It was
Yeah.
very exciting.
A Lego castle.
That's awesome.
And then our last one is from our email. And we had someone write in that said, I just recently adopted a kitten for my 29th birthday. I haven't had a pet since I was a child and was very nervous about bonding with another animal, but I took the plunge and I'm glad I did. It was July 6th when I adopted her, my birthday, and in honor of my fellow early July birthday person, I named the kitten Barbara.
Oh, look at the ears. There's so much ears.
Oh my God.
I can't take it.
So much.
Cheers to
cat.
that.
Cheers to
Cheers
that.
to Barbara the cat.
Cheers to those big ears.
Too many years scratching on furniture and pissing on stuff you shouldn't piss on.
And
Just
yet,
like me.
Just like Barbara.
I'm glad you named it after me. That's wonderful. Do any of you have something positive you want to talk about?
some birds had babies in my backyard, and they are growing up. I checked on them this morning, and the baby birds, they're starting to grow their feathers in, and they're in that scraggly adolescent stage where they
yeah.
got some sort of like long, stringy feathers.
They're
They're
getting
sort of
cuter.
going through that phase, and then
They're hitting bird puberty.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
starting
Cheers
to
to
grow
bird
up. I'm
puberty.
so happy for
Cheers to
them.
bird puberty.
Good job, birds.
That's wonderful.
I'm much.
Very happy.
This is like a small thing, but I'm going to Japan, and I just paid for all my Airbnbs, and all the expenses are
Awesome.
done, and I just got to show up, and I'm very excited about
Wow,
going to
that's
Japan.
exciting. That's a
That's
big
so
relief.
cool.
Yes.
Cheers
So
to
cheers
that.
to that.
When are you going to Japan?
Late August, and then I'm going to be going from there to RTX London. So I got a little bit of time
Oh my
left
God.
in the office.
That's going to
That's
be
so
quite
cool.
the travel
Yeah,
experience.
but I'm excited about it, though. I'm going to be going all over the place. So,
I
yeah.
still have yet to go to Japan.
I went in 2015, I think, and then 2013. Quite off, but yeah. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I want to go back so bad.
You've been to Japan, right?
Nope,
No?
never been.
Really?
Never.
Well, you know what?
I
I think
really
so.
want to go.
Anyone who hasn't been yet, we should go
We should do it.
all together.
Always
What do you
open
most
trip.
want
Come again.
What's up?
What do you most want to see?
Mostly Tokyo and just kind of like the Blade Runner-y sort of like future buildings and just walking around the streets and just kind of immersing myself in new culture. But I'm also excited, like to a lesser degree, for like the temples and like all of the cool rural stuff of Japan, the traditional stuff.
That is so
It's
There's
so
just too many things to be excited about.
If you see any Ruby stuff, you should
Oh, hell
take
yeah.
a picture.
I'm also excited about their climbing gyms, but
That's
that's just another story.
Japan is known for its climbing gyms.
Is it?
I think they actually are. Like, there's like incredible Japanese climbers. So I'm gonna show up and just look like a fucking scrub.
Yeah. I wonder if you'll get stared at.
I mean, wouldn't be unusual.
Humility.
All right, well, let's move on to our icebreaker, which is Cupidity, as a lot of you know. I think you've all played. But for those of you who aren't familiar or watching the show for the first time, Cupidity is an icebreaker game where we take questions from OkCupid, the popular dating site.
Oh.
We steal from them. And we take their questions that they ask people when they're making their dating profile, and we rapid fire them to each of you.
Nice.
I'm ready.
We like people who are on the spot.
John comes out and like, no!
My show! All right, Max,
Yes.
would you like to go first?
I'm ready.
Do we have our timer ready?
All right, let's date
Yes.
Max.
All right,
go.
Max. And go. Which is worse, someone who is always sad or someone who is always happy?
Always sad.
If you had to guess, do you think humans will go extinct in the next 1,000 years?
Yes.
Would the idea of a quiet evening sitting together reading books ever appeal to you?
No.
The person you have been seeing for a while climbs in through your window, crawls into bed with you, and cuddles up. How do you react?
Great.
Could you date someone who never ever threw anything away?
I'm basically.
That's you.
No. I'm kind of a hoarder, and my husband's like kind of a weird trash hoarder. Not that he like keeps it for any specific reason. He just doesn't throw it away.
Oh.
And so it's like we live in this thing where it's kind of like we're like we would want to not have trash,
But
but we love each other.
we,
so
as a
You don't like
together.
reading and hanging out and stuff?
okay,
All that?
I'll clarify on the
You'll take
reading.
someone climbing in the window and getting in your bed, but not reading?
For that, I'd just
That
be like,
is-
use the door. What are you
That's my brand. No, I would say if like for me, like for some reason, sitting there and doing one thing for any amount of time, quietly, I'm very ADHD. So
Yeah, what about video games?
if it was video games, absolutely.
But not reading.
I mean, I would
Well-
like to say that I would, but if I'm being honest,
Reading is like a video game you don't have to control.
I know.
What if it's a visual novel?
Oh,
all
a
of
visual
them.
novel? That's the compromise.
Makes sense.
Put on
And
a
plus-
I didn't realize these olives have pits. Hello, Jackson.
Plus, you never know.
I was just like,
Some of those ones have just surprise nudity.
surprise nudity.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I put it in a
Surprise.
girl's butt in one visual novel.
Oh.
I think I missed part of that sentence. What happened? You put it in a girl's butt? You personally?
Yes,
Like your
I mean, me
character?
as my character, yes.
Oh.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I could do it like for an entire evening of, casual reading a visual novel and being
Yeah.
like, where should I put this?
I know, the perfect spot. Mother Nature's pocket.
That sounds silly.
I want to be clear, she suggested it.
Oh, okay.
You should tell me the name of this visual novel because it sounds ridiculous. I don't believe you.
We're just getting started. Have you heard about the Dominatrix one?
Oh my God. What are these? Are these like Xbox games or?
Look,
Steam?
we'll talk about
Okay.
this.
all right.
Steam.
But mostly
oh, they're
PC.
steamy.
There's Steam. Ooh,
Steamy games.
Steamy games.
Some of them can't be distributed on Steam.
Just slide a note under the table.
Yeah. We're gonna all have a conversation about this.
All right, Miss Ashley. You ready? She is prepared. She has
Hit me.
cracked her knuckles. And go. Roughly how many books have you read in the past year?
20 to 50.
Wow. If a blind date used a coupon while paying for dinner, how would you feel?
Inconvenienced.
How often do you do things out of spite?
Fairly.
Okay. Would you ever be willing to skip out on responsibilities such as work, school, or such to stay home and have sex with someone?
Yes.
Do you recycle?
Yes.
Very good.
Nice.
Very
Very
good.
good. Very good.
So no coupons,
Obsessively.
huh?
No. It's not that they're bad. I would feel inconvenienced because usually that just makes everything take way longer.
Yeah, the coupon thing.
Do you say coupon or coupon?
Coupon. I say coupon.
Coupon?
Coupon.
Coupon.
I think I've always said coupons.
I've always said coupon. There's a couple words that I'm realizing as time goes on that I live in the States that I say differently. Like I've always said binoculars,
What?
but apparently it's binoculars.
Yeah.
I've always said binoculars. And Tuesday, which is definitely Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday's nice.
So that's Tuesday, like coupons.
Coupons.
Coupons?
Coupons.
On
Tampons.
Tuesday.
Tampons.
Sorry.
All right, Blaine. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And go. Would you rather have more money or more freedom?
More freedom.
Can you cook?
No.
Is it possible for you to like someone whom you don't respect?
No.
What kind of shape are you in?
Decent.
What kind of rides do you like at amusement parks?
Oh, spinny, twirly, upsy downy roller coasters.
Upsy downies. Is the idea of being kissed in the rain a turn on or turn off?
Turn on.
Hey!
It sounds like fun. It's like Blade Runner.
Yeah, the kissing in the
Can't-
rain thing. That's
Only
sexy.
if it's warm rain.
Yeah, warm rain's a pretty.
If
big
it's
thing.
cold rain and you're showering, I'd be like, can we just do this inside?
But like if there's like an umbrella though, and you're like, little isolated pod in this world of wetness, that'd be kind of fun. World of
Yeah,
wetness.
you want
World of wetness.
You do want to be the only one not in the world of wetness.
Yeah. Wait. Or would I want to be in the world of wetness? I don't know.
That's the sequel to. I'm trying to think of a movie that involves a lot of water. Oh,
Waterworld.
Water.
Oh, okay.
World of Wetness.
That's
You
the
can't
MMO.
cook, though?
No cooking.
Not really. Like I'll do like turkey burgers and stuff like that, but I can't like make like I can make macaroni and cheese real good, and maybe chicken quesadillas, but like I don't go over the top with ingredients or anything like that.
So if you guys had to go to a potluck and bring one dish, would you bring mac and cheese?
Yeah, and everyone would be like,
Boom.
Because they're eating it with their hands.
yeah, they love it. They just go. And I use shells so you can put them on your fingertips.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What would you
Cheesy
bring?
burgers. Goulash. No one brings
goulash,
that to. No one brings that to a potluck, so I wouldn't be doubling up.
What's goulash?
But it's delicious. It's think like elbow macaroni
Okay.
with like a meaty tomato sauce. But it's thick enough that it's kind of casserole-ish.
Oh,
Usually,
okay.
like there's some onion in there. You get some garlic. Get some spices.
You
It's
guys
real
want
nice.
to stop doing the show and go get some dinner?
Yeah,
let's go.
Mamma mia,
I'm
I'm
really
hungry.
hungry all of a sudden. Did you say Mamma Mia, I'm hungry?
Yeah, goulash is probably like Eastern European, huh? Yeah,
What'd you bring?
I said Italian.
I think, oh man, it's gonna sound really bad, but like, I make a killer grilled cheese sandwich. I'd bring some
Nice.
grilled cheese sandwiches.
Just like you could do those little
Little
tiny
squares.
ones, and yeah.
Yeah, like tea sandwiches
There
with
was-
their grilled cheese.
There was like a Rooster Teeth holiday party from forever ago where they had shot glasses of tomato soup and tiny baby grilled cheese.
And they were good.
Yeah,
So
everybody was like,
good.
oh.
Yeah.
They all remember how fucking good those were.
I stood right next to where the kitchen was, so that anytime the waiters would come out with them, I'd be like,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
yeah. What would you bring? Do you cook?
I do. I cook a lot. I would probably, depending on
Do
the
you wear
event.
clothes when you cook?
Actually, funny enough, no. And I have I used to have a scar that's right here from a skillet.
Oh no! Oh, like you touched it on?
Like I was like cooking that it was like, and I was like, ow.
I thought you were gonna say like bacon grease or something.
Oh,
yeah.
those little grease speckles are the worst. Not worth putting clothes on for, but they're still about.
They're still bad.
Bad.
You should just cover the bits. Maybe.
I cook in clothes because my kitchen has like a window that like just the right angle the apartments across the way could definitely see in. So I'd just be like, in there and then
My
Is that how
mentality.
you cook?
yeah, I scissor the penis.
My mentality is, if you're looking
Helicopter
in,
the penis, sorry.
if you're looking in and I'm naked
Scissoring is
and
gonna
I
go a
left the
little bit
window
different, I think.
open, then I don't know. I don't know who's at fault here.
That's their own fault.
If you didn't want to see it, don't look over
It's
here.
your property.
Yeah.
What
But
would you bring?
I would I'd probably do like, if I was being basic, I'd do like sliders. 'Cause I love me some sliders.
It's good.
But like, the other day we did a beef tenderloin. It was like gigantic, and we did it with like whiskey cream, and it was like super good. It was to die for.
Dude, Mariel, I went to a dinner with her and she like was cooking out steaks. So pouring out for your homies.
Yeah. Just one ice cube.
Sorry,
don't
Derek,
worry,
just
we're
an ice
pretty-
cube.
Compared to off topic.
I'll put it in my
where
mouth.
it's
It's
like,
okay.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of hair. Sexy.
Yeah.
Now that you look like that, you want to ask my questions?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this. Oh my God, it's on some wires. Somebody get that ice cube. It's on wires.
Oh no, we're about to short circuit the entire place.
All right.
Good job.
All of Rooster Teeth burns down.
Blamed it.
Ready to go?
Yes.
You guys ready to go? All right, and start. What do you think is the best way to connect with someone you're interested in?
Talk to them.
On average, how many fast food meals do you eat in a week?
Probably once.
Had cyber sex?
Yes.
If your date told you you were in the pornography they were in the pornography business in a non-sexual way, e.g. camera operator, lighting, directing, would it bother you?
No.
Would it ever be okay to break up with someone by email or text?
No.
If you had your own private hot tub, would you go nude in it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I've
dude.
gone nude in not my private hot tubs, which is probably extremely unsanitary.
Huh. Well, I mean, there's no difference, right?
No.
I mean, the
You're gonna be
water's
in-
all
Water's
up in
always going up
everything
in there.
anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It was, someone else's. Well, hello.
Hello.
So, all right, and you said no to breaking up with someone via text or email.
But
Yeah.
wait, who breaks up through email? Like that's a weird. Like I understand.
like-
Dear correspondent.
To whom it
Do
may
you-
concern.
Dear sir
Blaine.
or madam.
Dear Blaine, it's been a whirlwind ride, but unfortunately, at this point, I would like to terminate our relationship. Thank you very much for your time and your concern.
Please
See
confirm
attachment below.
receipt.
Please confirm receipt.
Dear insert name here.
CC, my best friends.
But when I was younger, I used to cybersex. Like, younger. Like, I would say 14 or 15.
As in,
Yeah, man, I
like,
probably haven't
this
since
was
like high school.
This was something you did with like a person you were in a distant relationship.
No,
What?
like strangers.
This is a new detail I didn't know.
Yeah, I would go on like message boards. I wouldn't like seek it out. It only maybe happened like once or twice when I was growing up. But it was when I was young and very curious about sexuality and
The hormones are going
constantly-
everywhere.
Yeah, hormones everywhere, constantly like turned on by stuff and like figuring out what that feeling meant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was whenever I was super closeted, like I was all cyber sex all the
Yeah.
time. Like it was
It
very
would work
much.
pretty well.
Yeah, like it was
But
interesting.
now it does like that kind of stuff doesn't do it for me.
Nah, I don't know. It's like
Having had the real thing, it pales in comparison.
It just feels awkward to do it now, especially with, I guess it all depends on the person, but now when I get close to someone, I know someone really well, I feel weird doing like the whole cyber sex thing.
I've learned that
Being like, yeah, like I'm gonna touch you there and you're gonna touch my nipple.
Yeah.
It's
like
just
I've
weird.
learned that like whenever I'm like that like I lost the ability to talk dirty.
Yeah,
Like,
like the extent of mine is, wanna bang?
Yeah.
And then you do.
like I attempted to talk dirty a while ago, and it was just
How'd
like
that go?
just so awkward because it was like, yeah, I'm ready for, yeah, do it to me.
Rough riding, yeah.
I want your.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm imagining it.
It was really
Is it
bad.
hot in here?
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I run out of things to say.
Yeah.
Like it's like all like the things that I do say during sex, like it's always fine and like it works for what it is. But I was like, I could never come up with anything new. I'm not creative.
I've got that constant push-pull, like, yeah, be in charge, that's awesome. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, but you respect me.
Slap.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you? I am my own woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will do what I want to do.
Did you just call me a whore?
It's like, that is a respectable profession. Do you have any idea how often they see doctors?
Yeah. They take it serious.
And then it's gonna like just devolve, and it's not gonna be at all the night that was expected.
It'd be not as sexy.
Yeah, it'd be a large dissertation about
It's like,
the lives of sex
here,
workers.
let's play doctor, and I'll show you.
Okay.
I think like
You go in the waiting room for 45 minutes.
Yep. Sexy.
I think like early in a relationship, it's a little bit more like acceptable. You know, like things are very thrilling and stuff like that. But then like the longer you've been in one, it's like you both sound silly. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Because
well-
at that point, like the friendship evolves, and like you also like I know for me, a lot of relationships go into like also you have that like cutesy relationship with each other too.
Oh God, yeah. Whenever
like-
that takes over, that's maybe it. Maybe that's when the sexy
Yeah.
talk goes away because everything
Or-
that you say is like just like slathered in sugar. Like, hope you have a great day. You're cute, mwah,
Yeah.
boo boo.
And then you're just like, yeah, give me your cock. Weird juxtaposition.
Yeah.
You ever seen that gif of Venom, like the Spider-Man villain, and he's like, his head like comes off, and then he reveals like a guy underneath, and he like holds up his phone,
No.
and it's like answering the phone when you're watching porn. He's
All right, so before we move on to our next segment, I want to thank Fleur. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by Fleur. Finding the right fragrance is kind of like falling in love. That's beautiful. There's the initial whiff of attraction. Then, as time goes on, you discover all these additional layers and you realize this is the one for me. But sometimes finding the perfect perfume isn't always so wonderful. That's why we're here to tell you about a company that's bringing the feeling back into fragrance. Fleur.
Flower.
Fleur. With Fleur, there's no testing on a strip of paper or worse, being ambushed in a busy department store. You could get to know each of Fleur's scents with pictures, words, and music on their site. If you like what you hear and see, odds are you'll like the scent. I love that. I love using music too.
That's interesting. That's yeah.
using other senses to.
Yeah, scents for scents. There you go, free slogan.
You're looking for.
Then you can actually try them on your skin and your own place and pace. Fleur scents are created by world-class perfumers and are inspired by real moments for your real life. And because all that matters is what you like, their scents are gender-free. we love Fleur. Me and Meryl actually tried out one of the tester packs. And both of our favorites, I had to write it down because I forgot the name, but it was Hanami. We both like that one. It's very like, I don't know, I'm used to like vanilla-y and like flowery scents, but this was like kind of like musky, like in a really good way. And it also changes depending on like how many hours you're wearing it.
You were telling me about this. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Really cool.
So does that mean that you can keep smelling it?
Yeah.
Because once you smell like one thing for a while, you sort of your brain shuts off
This
smelling
one
it, right?
like
So you
it
get to keep
changes.
smelling it.
It even says like this is what it smells like after an hour. This is what it smells like after 5 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it evolves.
Nice.
Just like us. So go to fleur.com today and use promo code OPEN so you get 20% off your custom Fleur sample set. Pick 3 scents to try and get credit towards a full-size bottle of your favorite. That's promo code OPEN at PHLUR.com to try 3 Fleur fragrances of your choice at 20% off. Fleur.com, promo code OPEN. Yeah. So the first segment we're going to do today is a question that I saw online, and I was curious to see all of your answers. What do you wish was more socially acceptable?
So, being mostly an introverted person and then also in a distance relationship, I feel like people should accept people doing things alone. Like that should be a more common and acceptable thing. I go to movies alone, I go to dinner alone, go to stores alone, all that stuff. And sometimes I still get like weird looks. Doesn't bother me anymore. I know that a lot of people think that that's like a big stigma just to do stuff alone, but
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with it. And I think that everybody like should feel comfortable doing it.
I feel like it's changing though. I feel like more and more people are like getting used to doing things alone and accepting that people do things alone, especially like going to movies and eating.
Yeah, I'm never sure if I'm like if I do something by myself, maybe like Bernie's traveling, whatever, and I'll be like, I'm gonna go see Ocean's 8 because I know he doesn't really care and I want to see it. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take myself on my own date to a movie. I don't know if I feel like I'm getting less like looks about that kind of thing, or if I just care way less.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't, like, because I do a fair amount of stuff just like if I want to go see a movie or something, like I'm just kind of like, oh, I'll go run over and see it, or if I'm like going to a bar, like my husband doesn't really like drink a lot, so like,
You'll just go do it
yeah,
yourself.
sometimes I'll go by myself, just especially if it's in like Bastrop where, you know, like there's not a whole bunch of people that I know there yet.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like I think, yeah, I don't really haven't really noticed.
I guess it depends on the person, but also, again, if it was something that's more socially acceptable, maybe a lot more people would be doing that kind of thing.
I mean, there was a time where I cared a lot more about it, and I think I was way more aware of it. Like when I was a kid, they used to have this thing called like Saturday Night Rock and Roll, and I was at a rec center, and you would go and you'd meet up with your friends, and you guys would do all these activities, and I would just be alone the entire time.
Is there a lock-in at the rec center?
Basically, yeah. And I'd feel like so self-conscious and like aware that everyone was like looking at the alone kid.
Aw.
And then now I go to the Capitol and do picnics alone. You know, it's like that's fun.
To me, those, like when I get to do stuff alone, obviously I have a boyfriend, he's wonderful, I love spending time with him, but I also am someone who loves my alone time. I feel like going to a movie alone or going to like out to coffee by myself or doing anything alone is almost like a special treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of like, it's a me day. I get to just be by myself and like do what I want, read a book, or just like zone out and not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like the true form of relaxation, when you don't even have to think about having a conversation with anybody.
Starting to realize that with birthdays, where it's just like, my birthday, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Like have a party, nothing.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of similar to yours. I actually have a few, but something I wish that was more socially acceptable is saying no to plans. Like if someone invites you out some more, or if there's like a party going on, just saying like,
Yes.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like, because there are some days where I'm like, I guess I'll go because I feel obligated and this person invited me to do this thing, and or like everyone else is going and I don't want to miss out. I wish it was just socially acceptable to be like,
Yeah.
not tonight. There's some people who are like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of people guilt people and
Yeah,
make
like,
them
oh,
feel
like,
come
what?
on.
Peer
Why don't you
pressure.
try? Yeah.
Oh my God, is everything okay?
everyone's coming.
Everyone's going to be there.
And just the ability to just be like, I like
God,
you.
we
we're
all have very
friends.
similarly passive-aggressive.
Yes.
I mean, most of the time when I get invited somewhere and I go, I always end up having a good time. It's just that initial like, I'm already in my pajamas.
Yeah.
Netflix is on.
It is true, I almost never regret actually getting my ass up and doing it
Yeah.
once I do, but that inertia is hard to fight.
Yeah.
And sometimes sometimes I don't want to fight it.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't really have a mistake though, or an excuse
Blaine's
not to
never
go.
made a mistake.
I've never made a mistake.
Never.
Never, not once.
They're like the place that for whatever reason all of my friends meet up at. I've been there several times with you and Trevor and a bunch of other people. It's right by my house. I have no excuse to say no.
Yeah.
So like, I actually like that though, because it forces me to go out there.
You're like,
There's
it's
no
right down
drive.
the street.
I
or
can
whatever.
walk there. Yeah. So like, that's nice, but it, being able to say no and not feel like shit would be also nice.
Like
Yeah.
because I'm kind of coming from the like other side of it where I'm very extroverted and I tend to always say yes to plans.
Yeah.
Like even when it's just kind of like whatever, like oh sure I'll go. Like and it's funny because only recently like having a little bit more of a drive and having a little bit more space, I've just like been a little bit more selective and started finally saying no. And it's like in the same way that like you never feel bad whenever you go out and have a good time. Like I'm kind of like learning that like sometimes whenever I say like no, I'm not gonna do anything, just stay at home.
Yeah.
Like I feel great about it. Like I never feel like oh I wish I had been there. I was like I know what that is. you
Yeah.
know?
It's like you see photos and you're just like,
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I got to not get ready to go and drive all the way and
Yeah.
spend money on drinks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Two other things, I'll make them quick, that I wish were socially acceptable. Farting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people don't care, and especially if they're around people who, like, they know they don't care. But just in general, just being able to fart.
It's taken me years to get Bernie to fart in front of me.
Is he finally doing it?
He is. I've taken it as a personal victory. I love it so much.
Like, just squeezing his stomach.
Well, our
fart.
reaction is anytime we fart, it has to be like a.
You always have to kind of
thank
make
You
reference
have to warn someone that something is coming at their nose.
Yeah.
Chris
And
has a spray
that's-
bottle that he hits me with whenever I fart.
Oh, yeah.
It's socially acceptable.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
It's funny. My husband still to this day does not fart in front of me and doesn't like it whenever I fart in front of him. But the other thing is that I'm just very much like I'm here. I'm in my bedroom. I'm farting.
You get stomach pains if you don't fart.
Okay,
It's like problems.
Here's the question: do you find that sometimes you just can't not fart? Do I have terrible sphincter control?
There are
sometimes,
sometimes.
even if I'm just kind of like,
I just go,
it's still
Leaks out a
gonna
little?
come out.
yeah. There are some times when it's
It
like
doesn't care what I want.
Yeah.
It wants to be free.
The fart needs to
Yeah.
be free.
Free the fart!
Damn it.
My third one also is being able to take naps during the day.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I know there's some workplaces that are more lenient about that kind of thing, but for me, if I'm tired, if it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and like I'm just burnt out and I can't think, if I take like a 30-minute nap,
Oh yeah.
I am so much better when I get back to work.
Yeah.
So even just like not working and just like sitting there thinking or like napping or resting, whatever, I wish that was like, I guess, more like corporately.
I feel
as
like we
acceptable.
should implement a nationwide siesta.
Yes.
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 like 1 p.m. hits, everyone gets a cookie and some milk and goes down for a little nap.
Oh my God, I love this.
That's a pretty great idea. The
this-
streets would be like clear.
Yeah.
We can make the change here.
There'd be no more
let's
war.
Let's start right now at Rooster Teeth. We're implementing the first nap policy.
Ready, set, nap.
Everybody.
Like the lights go down real quiet. Suddenly everyone starts talking to you in a really soothing voice.
Ooh, like,
Yes. Oh my God.
And then like it's coming because they start playing relaxing music in the office.
yes.
It's like, oh, it's
The little like plinky like yoga or
Yeah. Like
massage
the
music.
yeah.
I just witnessed a fight between two like coworkers, like they're arguing over a piece of content, and then just if that music started playing, they're like, settle this later.
Hey, just hold on a second. Yeah.
Get back to this. What about you, Max?
So I've got I was interested in this because I've got kind of a serious one, but it's also just basically what I wish was more socially acceptable is forgiveness, forgiving each other, forgiving other people for the things that they do to you or the things that you do to yourself. Because I think
That's a good one.
I think that there's there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of really bad behavior on display in the national stage and everything. But and I think we kind of think of things in terms of we got to call things out, we've got to, confront, and I think that's all really good. But the other question is what happens later? What happens after, beyond? And I just kind of realized that earlier this year that I like basically wasn't being the most empathetic or sympathetic person
Like towards your friends?
towards my husband, because he was kind of like dealing with like some anxiety, and I don't think that I was kind of like treating it in a. I was like I thought that I was being the right person, but I think that like I was kind of just minimizing. Minimizing and
Like
then also
downplaying it?
and then also being like, well, let's just fix this. Let's go to the anxiety store and get everything
It's hard when,
ship-shaped
especially
up.
if you haven't had that same experience with it.
Exactly.
It's hard being like, well, just feel better.
Yeah.
Just fix it. Like,
And then like learning that the person is not an idiot. Like they don't want to be condescended to, and so like it was just something that I kind of realized that like I had done for kind of like a good long while and not really listened to him about it. And then like it was just really great because he forgave me for that. Like, and we had like a really good talk, and like I don't know, like we just kind of like have gotten to a really better place because of that. And then it just kind of like I started thinking about that idea because I was just like, it's great that this happened with the relationship that I'm in, but it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, there's just a lot of things like I kind of like started asking myself like what I could let go or forgive of other people. And
I think,
it's
yeah,
interesting.
it's just to kind of reiterate, people make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
People go through things in their own life that makes them act a certain way or make things like shitty situations happen. And I think there's a lot of people, especially that I think we know in this industry, it's like a lot of creative people, a lot of emotions and stuff like that who tend to hold on to things
Mm-hmm.
or situations where people have wronged them. And they just like can't get past that and can't move on or like don't want to work with those people anymore. It's like people make mistakes.
Yeah.
People change too. Like and
It's like forgiving something doesn't mean that you excuse, like
Yeah.
the behavior or that like that everything's all cool. It's just like, I don't know, it's interesting as a mental exercise or like a mental practice just to kind of like take that weight off and be like, like for instance, one of the people who like kicked me out of the church, like I was thinking about him the other day because like I see him from time to time and he's, a really sweet guy. He works in film. And it was just kind of like, it was weird because I haven't had like, obviously our like friendship kind of ended after all of that.
Yeah.
After like, he basically like, just was the person who had to tell me that like the church didn't want me over there anymore.
Oh.
Which yeah, it sucked. But the other thing was that like, should he have known better? Should he have been more compassionate? Of course, sure. But the other thing is I was kind of like just the idea of being like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna forgive him, and then, I don't know that we'll ever be friends again or anything, but just like the idea that it's kind of like not holding on to that like
weight.
negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I had two friends that were like in a grudge thing for whatever reason. I don't even think they could retrace the reason behind why they didn't like each other. And like it had been going on, and like it got to the point where we had to adjust plans because of their thing. And then they finally like made up, forgave each other, and then now it's cool. And
Yeah.
everything's great.
It's all good.
Like blood feuds, right?
Yeah.
You're like, how far back has this gone? Generations. How did it start? Don't know, but this is
No
what
idea.
we're doing.
But I hate them.
Yes, they are the enemy because.
Because we
XYZ.
can't. Yeah.
because.
Question mark? What about you?
I mean, it was so I have two. They're both probably stupid, but they're things that that I experience occasionally, and I'm like, you know what?
If it's important to
shit-
you, it's
No
not
s-
stupid.
Yeah, no
Yes.
stupid answers.
I want to be able to age.
Oh,
I want that to be okay.
Yeah.
damn, girl, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
I mean, well, and to keep in mind too that like my lens is I do on-camera stuff for video games,
Right.
And that's typically, I mean, at this point it's mostly neutral audience, but on the internet, as far as I'm concerned, everyone's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 12 until proven otherwise. And a lot of times, like I feel too old for what I do.
Interesting.
Keep
it 'cause of, like,
my
the-
career is probably older than a lot of the people who watch
Yeah, you've been doing
my
this
content.
for like.
I've been in the video game industry for about 18 years.
Wow. Okay. So you're definitely older than a lot of the audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And
your career is older than a lot of the audience.
yeah, well, and I've been playing video games since I was like 7, 8. So we're talking. My gaming like just my gaming experience is older than the average gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just like that's a reality of things. But sometimes like I worry that like I'm gonna age out of what out of what I love doing, because people will be like, who's the old hag?
They're just looking for the next young person to.
And to some degree, I get that. People look for people, like in their own age groups to bond with.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing when you stop and realize two things. Like, name me a big actress, like one of the like big hot actresses from the 90s or even the early aughts who's still making stuff
Still
work.
doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really tough. I feel like I'm constantly fighting, and I've talked to Texas about this endlessly. I'm like, oh God, I'm fighting like under eye stuff, and I've got like little wrinkles here, and oh God, like, hold on, is this getting tight? Is this tight enough?
Yeah.
Oh no, my metabolism is slowing down, and I'm getting little chicken wings. God, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm falling apart.
Help me.
And it's never gonna stop me from doing what I like,
Yeah.
but it does feel like there's a certain pressure to always be younger.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. Someone told me this, and I always think about this whenever I think about that I'm aging, and the fact that I just turned 29, and I'm like, oh God, I'm close to 30, and this is gonna happen, then I'm gonna be 40 when I open my eyes. A lot of people don't have the privilege of getting to age. There's a lot of people who leave us too soon or have health problems and don't get to get older. And so we're very lucky to be people who do get to age and get wrinkles and get gray hair, because there's a lot of people in the world who don't get to experience that.
I feel like there's also been a shift lately too. Like Robin Wright is coming back into popularity, and she's been like,
She's
killing
badass, so good in
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. Oh my gosh.
She's Wonder Woman, stuff like that. So I feel like hopefully, I think we're all kind of making a shift into where this is a much more common and cool thing.
I do feel like I'm seeing a lot more of that, but like ultimately, like my goal when I grow up is to be like Judi Dench.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Or
That's a good
here's
goal.
what I'd like. I want to
Yes.
grow up to be Helen Mirren.
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, you
I
can
wanna
go
be Meryl Streep.
You can go Meryl Streep,
man.
then Helen Mirren, and then Judi Dench. You have these
Oh my
three
God.
Or
phases.
Betty White.
Oh, and then Betty
Yes,
White
and then
after
ultimately,
Judi
like,
Dench.
She can be our
Yes.
final form.
Yes. It's funny because like the ranch owner, like she's like an older woman, and she like, was like talking about it the other day, and just like, well, maybe I'll never find anybody, or something, and like then we like got into a really long discussion of her like entire life and like all that she's like done and everything, and like the funny thing is that she wasn't hung up on anybody. She wasn't ever like, oh, that's the one that got away. She was just like, oh yeah, he wanted me to move to the suburbs. Not there for it. So I just was like, whatever, but hopefully I find somebody. And then I was kind of like, it was kind of like, it's interesting because now she's kind of like looking beyond just her small town. Like she's like gonna travel and kind of like maybe see what happens there. And so I think it's like, there definitely is that pressure to never to like oh, age means you're limiting, that you're limited now as you go on. But
Or like I can't wear these things
Yeah.
because I'm too old for it.
Yeah.
Or I can't go do these things because that's for young people.
I'm gonna dress like a
like,
16-year-old
you know
boy
what?
for as long
I don't
as I live.
feel old
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters. I think it's how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
Inside.
But
Yeah.
on another note, the other thing is I wish it was more socially acceptable to have leg hair because I'm terrible at shaving.
Hell yeah. I mean, you do whatever you want.
Look at this. This happened during E3. Hold on, do you see? Hold on. I
there
hit
a
it.
cut?
I hit it, but
Oh,
see that?
ow.
No.
that?
There's a cut.
No.
It's like it's dark. It's scarred up. I don't know. I took a
Is that
chunk
from
out
a
of my
razor?
leg shaving, and it was like it was not a Dollar Shave Club
At
razor.
least you don't have to worry about our throats when we're shaving. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true.
I just
The
never
jugular
grow any
stays
hair ever,
intact.
anywhere, ever, at all.
But I'm so bad at shaving.
I'm terrible at
so
it.
bad.
Going
That's why
off
I'm
that, I
happy
wish
I'm blonde.
back hair was going to be more acceptable and weird arm
Are
hair.
you getting back
I'm getting
hair?
all sorts of weird Wolverine shit going on. But I'm cool with it.
Just
Fine.
embrace it and go full
Burt
on.
Reynolds?
Yeah.
Is it weird to say that I'm
Ooh.
jealous because like I really wish that I had more hair? Like I don't
But
have
hey,
any.
the grass is always greener.
I know, I guess
Yeah.
so,
People
yeah.
want more
Bush
hair,
is
I want
always
more hair.
bushier.
Yeah, the bush is
in the
bushier
70s
on the other side.
and in Westworld.
Yes.
Is that going to be the title of this episode? The bush is always bushier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that.
Just put that on the list. So before we move on to our last segment, I want to say thank you to Stitch Fix. Woo. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by Stitch Fix. If you have a defined personal style, and even more so if you don't, you know how easy it is to fall into a rut and wear the same thing every day. The problem is when the temperature rises, suddenly you've got to change your whole fashion strategy. But you can make getting dressed for the summer easy and fun with Stitch Fix. Let's face it, summer comes with its own style challenges. Whether you need looks to get you through wedding season or help to figure out how to survive the heat and still be office appropriate, Stitch Fix can help. Just tell them your sizes, some info about your lifestyle and your preferred budget, and one of their stylists will send clothes, shoes, accessories picked just for you. You don't even have to leave the house. Each Stitch Fix box contains 5 items you could try on at home. You only pay for the items you keep. Returns are easy with Stitch Fix. They cover shipping costs both ways for returns and exchanges too. As always, there's no subscription required either. You could go get your fix monthly, quarterly, or whenever you prefer. Get your first fix now at stitchfix.com/open and get 25% off when you keep all 5 items in your box. That's stitchfix.com/open to get started with Stitch Fix today. stitchfix.com/open. I friggin' love Stitch Fix.
No joke. Didn't realize they were sponsored today. These shoes are Stitch Fix.
Stitch Fix.
I love them so much. They are the best shoes.
I remember one time you and I were both doing Stitch Fix, and I think one time we got, a similar item. And I was just like, oh, you got ones like that, I got ones like this.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's make sure we don't match one day.
I had the same thing. Meg and I were both doing Stitch Fix, and we both ended up keeping the same top.
Yeah.
And people were like, do they share a wardrobe? And we just sort of let it go. I think one day we were both wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
They have some
but
really
they have
cute
great stuff, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And nice little jewelry pieces as well. I got some cool rose gold stuff.
It's great for people who don't have time to shop too. And you're just like, just give me stuff that you think I will like.
I love stuff coming to me.
Too.
It's the best.
Well, speaking of things that come to us.
Uh-oh.
We just opened up our Always Open hotline and had some beautiful voiceover work from Mr. Max Krumke.
I made a sexy commercial.
We did a little infomercial for our
It's
hotline.
news to me. What is
The only
Where
thing,
it's like, call now.
the only thing that I'm when we were filming this in the office, I did one that was, hey, it was, hey, sugar puss.
Why didn't we use that one?
No, the thing is that Eric was very clear that he just needed these lines done, and then I was like, okay, and then here's a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
So
He messaged our group. He's like, hey, does anyone want 8 minutes of Max's dialogue? So I think we're going to try to play it at the Always Open panel this year.
Love it.
yes.
I wish my Amazon Echo had Max's voice, like saying,
Hey, sugar puss.
"What's the weather like today?"
4 degrees outside.
It's 4 degrees outsid.
Okay, now say, I'm sorry, I don't know that, because that's mostly what I
I'm
get.
sorry, I don't know that.
I can't be mad at you.
That would make it better. That would make it better a lot.
So if we want
was,
to
sultry.
get our first one queued up, we had a lot of people call in actually and leave some messages. So
It's awesome.
let's get our first
Did
one.
any of them misdial and be like, fuck you, Tyler Coe?
Some people hung up on us. That's okay.
Hi, this is Celeste. I'm 25, and I have a question about my relationship. I am in love with my boyfriend, who I've been with for 2 years, and I am not attractive to him, and that's not his fault. And he also wants to make sure that I feel that I know it's not my fault either. So he wants to still be in a relationship with me, but it's incredibly crippling to my self-esteem, and I still want to be in a relationship with him. But I feel like whenever we're intimate, he's doing it just to be nice to me. What should I do?
There is not a lot that's more crippling in a relationship than feeling like someone is not sexually attracted to you or attracted to you in any sense, especially when being intimate.
Yeah.
Because you don't want sex or any sort of intimacy to ever feel like a chore for someone.
Yeah.
It's forced, yeah.
And that could be really bad for your self-esteem, and it could translate to the rest of your life too.
Well, and you worry too, how sustainable is it?
Yeah.
We want to be together, but this is a thing that we don't know would ever go away.
Well, I'm also wondering how that relationship started.
Yeah.
Like, was he initially not attracted to her, but they still started dating, or did like maybe people's appearances or way of life changed? Where like it could be one of those things too, where you start having that like cutesy relationship and you sort of lose that like sexual energy that you
Lose
have.
fire.
Yeah.
Exactly, which happens sometimes.
I think like
We
I
all
think
stop
it's,
being able to dirty talk.
It happens.
I think like because with a long-term relationship, I think like it's definitely there's ebbs and flows, you know. So yeah, I'm really curious as to know if like it's kind of been this way from the start. Because if it's been this way from the start, then it's kind of like that's like you really do have to like ask yourself like, is this possible to be in a relationship if there was never that attraction there?
how you feel, yeah.
But the other thing is like, how long are we talking? Like, if this is like something more recent, I feel like there's another thing like just respecting the ebb and flow of like being in a relationship. But the other thing, it's affecting self-esteem.
No, I hear what Max is
Yeah.
saying, because like sometimes you go through these like small like bursts of time, or they can be long, where it's like it's the honeymoon period all over again, and everything's fucking groovy and great, and then some life stuff happens or whatever, and you kind of edge out of that, and then
Or like someone's really busy or stressed at work or whatever it is.
yeah, whatever.
You're just not
reason.
quite connecting.
Yeah.
Either like on a like time-wise or priority-wise, whatever it is.
Yeah, like I guess if it's that, then like if it's just that natural like fluctuation, then I think it's fine. But yeah, the larger problem is that you have to have that conversation. I feel like
you always want to be attracted to someone that you're in a relationship, whether or not it's like, oh, like I want to jump your bones this second, but still being like, oh, I'm attracted to you, I want to be with you, like I like kissing you, I like being romantic with you. Especially if it's to the point where it's affecting her self-esteem and she feels bad about it, like that is hard to come back from. And honestly, like as good as a relationship could be, if that's ongoing and it's something that's always going to be in the back of your mind when you're with someone, that's probably not a healthy situation to be in.
Well, and if this has always been the case, story from my past time. I had one. It was a long-term relationship. I was in it for several years, but I got into the relationship largely because I didn't want to lose a friendship. It felt like it was on the line.
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe it could change. You know, maybe I could force it or something, because I liked this person. I liked spending time with this person. We did everything together, and I thought, why not? I don't want to lose this best friend. I don't want to lose this person in my life. So if this is what we need to do, then sure, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But
work, yeah.
ultimately it didn't work out, because at some point, I'd realized that like I was attracted to someone that was not this person, and I realized what that felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because because it was a long-term relationship, I'd sort of, not really thought about all that until, something like lit a fire, and I was like, oh, this I think is what
That's what it should
it's
feel
supposed
like,
to feel like. And ultimately we didn't end up working out.
Yeah.
And that person is Bernie. No, I'm just
And
His name is Bernie.
I think ultimately we're both better off for that. Unfortunately, it did cost me the friendship as well. We did not keep in touch afterwards, and that was a really hard decision to make.
And like to be fair, there are people who are comfortable in a more friendship type of relationship, where like you are each other's best friend. You might not have like as much of an intimate relationship that some couples do, and some people are perfectly content with that. But from her message, it sounds like this is something that bothers her. And like, I heard this thing one time where it was, sex is either 10% of a good relationship or 90% of a bad relationship.
Oh no, I've had the latter a bunch.
Yeah.
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 It's like, it's all you could think about. It bothers you. It kind of like, it's all you argue about. It's all you talk about, and it becomes like a problem within your relationship.
Yeah, the other thing that I kind of was interested about is that, like when it's Celeste, right?
Yes.
Like when she was saying that, like she, like says that she feels like she's not attractive and it's not his fault. It kind of seems like if she's dealing with that, if she doesn't find herself attractive, like I think that it's really kind of like an important thing to practice self-love and really like try to get to a place to be comfortable with yourself, because there's always room for improvement. Everybody can always do something a little bit different.
Sure.
But like, I think,
Doing small things to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
yeah, and just trying to be honest with yourself and be like, and not be so, well, not be honest, not be so hard. You know, like give yourself a break. I think everybody could give themselves a little bit more time on everything. I think all of us are our biggest critics generally.
But then if you're also with someone though who makes you feel that way about yourself,
Yeah.
it could just be like this endless cycle of
Yeah.
not knowing how to feel better about yourself.
It's like both of those. I think they both seem like they're really like both of those issues really seem like they're in a place where, like, yeah,
It's
it's a hard place to get out of. But
woof.
the least you can do is love yourself or try.
Try. Do small things.
Yeah.
You guys have any last thoughts?
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, just practicing self-love and make sure that you're in a good headspace, and then I think the rest of it will kind of go from there. But making sure you have a strong, like, foundation for a relationship in a way that, like, you're feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, and two, try and figure out why each of you are in the relationship, what you want out of it, why did you get into it?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you need out of this relationship? You're right. There are so many different dynamics, and not everyone needs the same thing out of every relationship.
Exactly. Some people just want friendship.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and so there's a range.
But also keep in mind there's plenty of fish in the sea, and I'm sure there are bound to be plenty of people who find you beautiful and attractive and want to be with you. So don't think that because you are in this relationship with this person for 2 years and you feel like maybe this is it for me and I won't find someone because this person doesn't find me attractive doesn't mean you won't necessarily be able to find someone else. So don't be afraid of that possibility as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like the direction she's approaching it from. Like, this isn't something I have blame about.
Yeah.
I think that's healthy.
That is healthy because everyone has their own tastes and like they can't help who they're attracted to or what they find attractive in a person.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, what's the word? Just internal.
Yeah.
Inane? I don't know. I'm bad with words. I'm not a thesaurus. I think we're going to do one more voicemail too before we wrap up if we want to play that for our guests.
Hi, Barbara and Marielle and whoever else is on the show today. I have a question. I'm a 20-year-old female, and I'm looking to lose weight. I'm not that overweight. I'm only 5 feet, and I'm 160 pounds, but I'm not comfortable with how my weight has been. I've gained weight since college, so I'm just wondering, what are your tips for losing weight, and how can I stick to them? Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Bye.
Well, thank you. 20 years old. Yeah. Tips on losing weight
I like this
or
question.
feeling better about yourself.
Treadmill gaming.
I want to try that. Oh my god.
Okay,
what
so
the hell?
this is amazing.
So, wait, but what
Mind
happens
you, it's
if
not
you
really
are...
working on me as well
college
these
kid.
days.
Yeah,
but
she's a college kid, keep in mind.
I did this a few years ago and it worked out great. And if you're in college, it may work better maybe if you've got a laptop or something and can do like low resource intensive games like on a laptop. I'm talking visual novels. Again,
Hey.
you can put things in butts sometimes and it's a surprise for everyone.
Or what about like it might be hard, but like a Switch?
Yeah, maybe a Switch, something that okay, so I'm not all up on my modern universities, but any of them have gyms.
Yes.
Yeah, most of them do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know
So,
mine did.
Usually there's a tray, take Switch, Stardew Valley, whatever you want, can just put it in the thing, you got your Joy-Cons, you're walking along. You can pass so much time. And
I've never thought of this.
it really adds up.
I've never thought of this, and it's funny because like the idea of me bringing a Switch to the 24-hour fitness
Yeah.
or wherever, like it's like to me, it's like I know I would look insane, but the other thing is I see so many insane
I
people
think a
there
lot of people that would see you and be like, yes. that's a
Everybody,
great
like, there's
idea."
so many people there that are already insane that I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna own this and be insane
Like
in
the
my
guy
own
jogging
way.
in his Birkenstocks or something like that. And you're like, okay,
Just
dude.
there was a guy wearing like full dress pants the other day, like on one of the treadmills, like just like gray dress pants. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Maybe
What is this?
maybe
People in a
he
public gym.
had forgot his pants. They weren't in his gym bag, whatever, and he decided instead of skipping that workout, he was
Yeah.
just gonna
I've
rock
worked
it.
out in jeans before, and it's just, okay,
You know-
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I wasn't really like, you know, that's really maybe the key is embracing just the
weirdness.
just like, I don't need to
And
give a
look,
fuck.
Everyone at the gym is there to get their shit done.
Yeah.
They are there. They're focused on them.
And they're constantly worried about what other people are thinking of them. And everyone has those same thoughts of just like, people are watching me, people are like scrutinizing my form or like what I look like, but like literally everyone is worried about the same thing.
It
like
didn't sound.
Blaine, you go to the gym a lot.
Yes, I do.
Do you?
What? Wait.
A little bit.
Hold the phone.
A tiny bit. But when you're in
Are
the
we being
gym,
serious? What?
when you're in the gym, like, what's your mentality? Like, who are you looking at? Why? What are you paying attention to when you're in the gym? Because out of all of us, I think you have been there the most.
I just like listening to good music and focusing on my form.
There you go.
It's just like a way of turning off my brain for a few minutes. It doesn't sound like her problem is like the social anxieties of going to the gym.
No,
more
but I'm
just
just saying,
sounds
like,
like-
that's a it's a thing.
Also-
So just trying to get some tips for like dropping some weight. What's up?
Just as a side note, whenever I was at the climbing gym, it would be funny because like we would go like and like there would be like John or Patrick or whoever, and we'd be like climbing and we're all like talking stuff. Like when Blaine goes climbing, Blaine goes for business. He is there to
business
get
climbing,
his
Blaine?
climbing it. No, I appreciate that focus. It is good. Like I wish I was that focused about anything. Ever.
Me too.
Because I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Well, what would be your tip for her then?
what you do?
Oh, I mean,
Because hers just seemed like she just wants to figure out how
yeah,
to lose weight or like
there's
small things she could do.
Some pretty easy stuff. I mean, exercise is a really big part of it, but most of it's diet.
The-
And, like Fit for RTX is here. RTX is coming up, and like I always go through this thing where in the summer, preparing for RTX, I just lose weight because I just want to feel good and look good during RTX.
Right.
Not for anybody else. It's mostly just for me because if I'm like feeling good, or if I feel like I look good, then
If you're vibing on yourself,
Yeah,
to figure
you
out
could
other
put
people are vibing on
Good
you.
energy
yeah,
out.
even if they don't, I don't give a shit. It's just like I feel good, and I want to be my best self for everybody at RTX. So a big thing that I do is I cut sugars, even though I'm drinking a ginger beer right now. I cut like candy, ice cream, all that stuff. I cut out cheese. I cut out bread, and I just
And
kind of
cheese is a hard thing to lose. Cheese and bread are tough.
I mean,
But it's just like I just watch closer to what I eat, and I don't eat until I'm like stuffed full. I'm typically do that, but like sometimes I'll just
Portion
be like,
control.
Yeah.
I'll just like eat until I'm feeling like, I'm not hungry
For
anymore.
me, the thing that helps the most, especially when like you feel like you're maybe a little overweight or unhappy with the way you look, even doing one thing that is a change will help. And like honestly, I think people think of it as a sprint, whereas it's a marathon. Like if you could lose like a pound a week or a pound every 2 or 3 weeks, like that's still progress. And like if you just maintain that over time, you'll see results. But even doing something like not drinking soda anymore.
Yeah.
Or like not eating too late at night, because a lot of people snack during the night and that adds a lot of unnecessary calories. So just like after dinner, just be like, I'm not going to eat any more food, or just like drink tea at night instead of eating snacks, which could be a diet thing. For exercise, I found that not everyone likes the same type of exercising. Not
Yeah.
everyone likes treadmills. Not everyone likes doing ellipticals. Some people prefer classes. So maybe try a different workout class, whether it's spinning or cycling, yoga, Pilates, maybe a kickboxing class, something you could do with your friends. That
Orange
always helps
theory,
too.
bar.
Orange theory.
Yeah.
There's
That's why
so many things.
Climbing has been a big like wave of relief because like the gym is always fun for me. I've always enjoyed it, but sometimes I don't know why I'm going. But climbing has given me a whole reason to build my strength. 'Cause
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I can do this.
And you like it.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So finding a physical activity that you really enjoy is a big part of it. But
Hiking.
hiking is fun. Yeah, it's a good workout. But I have noticed like we did our weigh-in for Fit for RTX probably like a month or a month and a half ago.
I think it was a month and a half.
And I changed literally nothing about my workout regimen. I'm working out at the same amount that I normally am, probably climbing less now. And just by watching my diet and all that stuff, I think I've dropped like 8 pounds.
Wow.
I think one of the best things I ever heard was you can't outrun a bad diet.
Yeah, no, it's very true.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, like I do. If I'm doing something, it's probably cardio.
Yeah.
And I know the best things for that are high intensity interval training.
Hit.
Yeah. But I was always just like, I would just try and run really far. Like I have a distance runner like pass. That's what I would do. When I was training for Amazing Race, I would do 90 minutes running per day.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And hey, I got so fit, it was amazing.
Running was a
Although
lot, yeah.
in hindsight, it's like I look at that and I'm like, I know it's achievable because it was like 2 years ago, but like what it took.
It's also the motivation
get
you
to.
had.
What-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, hey, 6 million people might see you like in like underwear or a bikini or something. So
Run.
what do you want to look like?
Damn, those are some stakes right there.
Yeah, and I got there, but it's what do you want to look like versus what's sustainable.
Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
having realistic expectations and also like setting small goals for yourself. Don't be like, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month. Probably won't happen. That's
And even if it did happen, it's
not healthy.
probably not good for you.
not healthy.
Well, and there's this sounds really whatever, but there's a picture from a while ago that I took. I can't remember when. I was going through this thing where I was just fucking addicted, hooked to dieting and working out, and it is the best I've ever looked in my life. It looks incredible. I would not be able to live off of that level of dieting and exercise. I go through stages where I'm just like, I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck I want. And then there's sometimes where I'm like, I'm gonna cut back and watch myself. So that's okay if you ebb and flow on your weight. You know?
Yeah,
Everyone
happy
does.
and healthy.
I'm kind of figuring that out because it's basically it's funny because in the last 2 years I've gained 40 pounds, which is insane.
In muscle.
In muscle.
Pure muscle.
Pure muscle. And it's basically
Full on
been
flex and make your shirt pop off.
no, and it's funny because is it ideal? Is it something that I want that to be my me? It's
Right.
no, I want to put the work in, but the other thing is it's really been a process trying to figure that out and also trying to figure out where that's coming from. And the funny thing is that it really is hey, it's drinking. So I think I'm kind of planning on after RTX taking a little break from drinking, just because it's hilarious. Everybody that I know that's ever taken a little break, boom.
It
you
makes
lose a lot of
such a
weight.
difference. I've done it a couple times and been absolutely shocked the difference that made.
I've heard that it's less about drinking the alcohol that makes you bigger. It's the decisions you make with your diet after you drink alcohol.
You mean because you're let's all go for burritos?
Yeah, let's go get some fucking
how
pizza.
How
Get me
many
the 20-piece
burritos,
chicken
how many tacos can I
McNuggets.
eat?
Right.
20,
There's
not
something
10.
about alcohol that turns
and they
off
sell it.
limit. Yeah.
Well, but also I think someone told me, maybe this is an urban myth, maybe the internet can correct me on this, but I remember hearing that when you have alcohol in your system, your metabolism basically shuts down. You stop digesting stuff, and it will just store things as fat because it's we'll get to this later.
We're all just
Let's deal with this
pushing our
alcohol
drinks into the
No, still drinking. But yeah.
We'll finish this one.
That said, I think there's a line between the goal for ultimate fitness,
Yeah.
as I know the images that we all see and how much I want to look like a little schlump.
It's very
Little
unrealistic.
schlump
though.
with all
I wanna-
all muscle and just nothing but and looking real svelte. But there's a trade-off there in lifestyle, and so you
Yeah.
got to figure out
The balance.
the balance. There's even fitness Instagrammers, because you see a lot of fitness people on Instagram and such, and they'll show you these amazing pictures. That's also probably their third workout of the day.
Yeah.
And when
Oh.
they
And
they've been
show
working on it
the
for years.
off
On
pictures,
Instagram?
it's so
Yeah.
it's like a relief when they'll be all right, here's me after 5 days at Disneyland eating whatever I want, and they look like a human again.
My favorite pictures
Just
on
how quick
Instagram
that changes.
that these models do is they'll be ugh, here's me flexing, and they look fucking incredible, and then they're and this is me relaxed.
This is me
and they're-
sitting down, yeah.
And they're just whoop, it's normal.
There was a recent one of it was a girl, and she was on the edge of a hot tub or bathtub or something, and you see the just impossibly tiny stomach and the curvy ass, and she looked amazing, and she had the glow here on the cheekbone, looking amazing. And then right next to it, she was and this was 45 seconds later, and that's when she let it, just went
Yeah, and didn't angle towards the light.
Yeah.
yeah, and it just, there's what we see online and in images and everything,
That could be
it's
very
not real.
Very damaging.
Well, and it's funny because on Instagram, so I don't follow fitness models.
I feel cosplayers.
I follow Instagays, and I also realized
What
that
What's that?
it's basically the same as a fitness model, but without
just,
the
hot gay
pretense
guys?
of I'm working out. It's just I'm ripped as fuck. Look at me, I'm hot as hell. And it's funny because also I didn't know. Well, I kind of knew, but I didn't know to what extent that other people have been getting recommendations that follow me on Instagram. Hey, I think you would like to follow this dude in a
because
jockstrap, this muscle dude. Is that for you? It's why the hell am I getting this?
Where are these coming from?
Max
Oh,
follows him. Max follows all of these people. On Twitter, Max is pretty not thirsty, but for some reason on Instagram, Max has just gone full ape shit, and
Who
it's
is
just
this Max?
following all of these people. But it's do I want to look like those people? Absolutely. But I also watch their Instagram stories, and I see what they're talking about, what they're doing every day. It's like, this is their full-time job.
Yeah.
Is
It's
like
not. I mean, it's
getting
definitely
ripped,
a
you
different
know?
lifestyle.
I'm not knocking it, but
knocking
like,
it, and that's them. But I think for a lot of people who want to achieve that and feel discouraged when they can't,
yeah.
I feel like that is an unrealistic goal to achieve for yourself, especially if you are going to college or if you have like a really like stressful job or kids or whatever it is. Like these are things that are not easy to attain. It looks easy because you're seeing people on Instagram because you're seeing the best of people.
Yeah. Or their best moment.
yeah.
You know, it's all
You're
it's
seeing
all
the best
manipulated.
moments of people who spend their entire life doing that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I say just to wrap it up and to give you your kind of summation of our advice is definitely diet. You want to keep diet in mind. Make small changes at first to kind of get things going. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Weight loss should be a kind of gradual thing. And also, like, maybe find a friend who wants to do the same thing, and you guys
Motivate
could
each other.
Be your buddy. And,
Accountability buddy.
yeah, accountability buddy. Yeah, it's definitely a difficult thing. A lot of people struggle with it, so don't feel too discouraged. Live your best life.
Yeah. And love yourself.
And maybe don't follow people on Instagram that make you feel bad about yourself, because that could be.
Unless you're thirsty, which is the only reason that I do it. It's not in.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. We love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Shine, 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 shine.
Shine, shine.